Why hello fellow Patriots, and welcome to episode 22 on the Patriot Dad channel, where we can discuss current events and modern issues, all while keeping it as real as possible. Today we continue our series on the US Constitution with a look at Article number 2. Take a guess and put it in the comments section below what you think Article 2 is for. Whether you're right or wrong up front isn't the point, it's just a status check on the health of our historical knowledge. If many of you went to public school in a liberal state like I did, you may not know off the top of your head what Article 2 is for, and you know what? That's okay. We're all here to learn together and improve our familiarity with the US Constitution. Remember that things have changed due to certain amendments over the years since the document's original writing, so it's okay if it sounds a little different than how we understand it and how it works today. Let's dig into Article 2, shall we? Now, if you guessed that Article 2 was responsible for setting the parameters for the executive branch, you were correct. Article 2 has only 4 sections, many fewer than Article 1, but it's also only setting up one body, not 2. Article 1 did both parts of the legislative branch, the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. Article 2 is only setting up the executive branch, which is primarily the chief executive and then all the departments that report to him or her. So what did the founders originally set up the executive branch to look like? Let's take a look at the original text. See in Section 1 that the executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America, that he shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and together with the vice president chosen the same term be elected as follows. So right out of the gate, we see that the term for president and vice president, whom are elected together, is 4 years. It says here that each state shall appoint in a manner as the legislature may direct a number of electors. So we see here that we have the electoral college. Each state is responsible for choosing its electors, equal to the number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in Congress, but no senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed as an elector. So we see here, if you add up the number of senators, the number of representatives for a state, that's how many electors they get. But you're not allowed to be a senator or a member of the House and an elector. This probably helps eliminate conflicts of interest. There is a bunch of text here setting up how the electors are chosen and how they send their selection onwards. But we see here that the president of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and the House of Representatives, open all certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. So we see here, once the electors are chosen and sent to cast their votes, they must be cast in the presence of the Senate and the House. The person having the greatest number of votes shall then be president. However, if such a number be a majority of the number of electors appointed, and if there be more than one who has such majority and have an equal number of votes, then the House of Representatives shall immediately choose by ballot one of them to be president. So we see here, it's not just the electors that choose. If it is a tie, the House of Representatives chooses. So there is some power in the House in this process. If no person has a majority, then the 5 highest of the list and said House shall be in like manner choose the president. But in choosing the president, the votes shall be taken by states, the representation from each state having 1 vote. The person having the greatest number of votes. A quorum for this purpose shall consist of a member or members from 2/3 of the states, and a majority of all the states shall be necessary to a choice. In every case, after the choice of president, the person having the greatest number of votes of the electors shall be vice president. So we see here, if there is no majority for any of the candidates, they pick 5. The person with the 2/3 majority is president, and the one with the next highest number is vice president. Seems kind of random. I actually don't know if that's ever happened. If it has, go ahead and throw it in the comments below. I'd love to look into it a little further. But if there should remain 2 or more who have equal votes, then the Senate shall choose from them by ballot the vice president. So the Congress may determine the time of choosing of the electors and the day on which they shall give their votes, which day shall be the same throughout the United States. So this is the election day. There's a lot of discussion about trying to extend it to make it election days, election week, or longer still. But it is clearly laid out that it is supposed to be a singular day. We also see here the parameters to be president, that no person except a natural born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of president. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained the age of 35 years old and been 14 years a resident within the United States. So we see here the parameters. You must be at least 35, you must be a citizen or natural born citizen, and you must have been a resident of the US for 14 years. Seems pretty simple. And then we also, at the end of section 1, have the oath of office. If you've ever watched a president take office and take the oath, you will remember these exact words. Before he enter on the execution of his office, he shall take the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Interesting, considering a lot of the actions of many presidents over the years don't seem like they would be following this oath very well, but that's neither here nor there. That's for history to decide. Section 2 goes into now that the president shall be the commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of several states when called into actual service of the United States. So we have the commander-in-chief is our executive. He shall have the power by and with the advice and consent of the Senate to make treaties, provided 2/3 of senators present concur. He shall nominate and by with advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors and other ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States, whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law, but the Congress may, by law, vest the appointment of such inferior officers as they think proper in the president alone, in the courts of law, or in the heads of departments. The president, and this is also another interesting tidbit, shall have the power to fill up all vacancies that may happen during the recess of the Senate by granting commissions, which shall expire at the end of their next session. So these are called recess appointments, and they could be abused. We hope not, but there's a potential there. Just wait for them to go on recess, and you can, with this authority, fill vacancies without their consent. Section 3, we have the guidelines for the State of the Union address. He shall from time to time give to Congress information of the State of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. He may on extraordinary occasion convene both houses or either of them, and in the case of disagreement between them with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed, and shall commission all the officers of the United States. So if you look at officer commissions in the military, they are signed by the chief executive. And last but not least, Section 4 of Article 2, the president, vice president, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Now, those specific words you hear quite frequently, including in the last set of impeachments that we saw with the previous president. It's not very clearly defined. Now, treason and bribery are, but high crimes and misdemeanors, what does that really mean? What do you think it means? Go ahead and put it in a comment below. Thank you for joining us and watching today's video all the way through. If you made it to the end, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe to the channel and click the little bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new content. Please share the video and feel free to leave a comment with recommendations for future topics, and I can add them to the list. Following today's topic, we will be next digging into Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution as we continue our deep dive into this wonderful document. We'll also be doing another midweek video, and this week I think I'm going to deviate from my normal reaction video series, and I'm going to be providing another legal update and discussion on the current court system and how it's kind of borked and doesn't really incentivize long-term relationships or healthy families. Take care, everyone. God bless, and bye for now. Go ahead and check out one of the links on the screen now to either subscribe to the channel and see the rest of the videos of the channel, or one of the carefully selected videos that you may wish to see that YouTube has used its algorithm to select for you.